4-1, the Oilers defeat the LA Kings, and I think a lot of people going home happy tonight after that one. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Oil Stream Postgame Show right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Kass and Gazzola with you. Matt Kassian, our game analyst, will be joining us shortly, and then Zachticum at the helm back at the EST Global HQ in for YouTube. Trev at the game as a fan, and I'm sure he had a great night tonight as the Oilers get the job done. A big 4-point game, and they win it in regulation. You can text us, as always, 780-218-9999, and if you're watching on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button, please and thank you. And you can join the conversation via the Nasty Chat as we get set to break this one down. We're going to start, of course, like we always do, with the scoring summary and the game stats from Edmonton's 4-1 victory over the LA Kings. The Oilers improving, by the way, to a 44-23-4 record. LA falls to 38-23-11. And more importantly, the Oilers pull a few more points ahead of the Kings. Edmonton now 5 up on LA with that win tonight, and a bit of a buffer with 10 games remaining. All right, scoring summary. Like I said, first period, Connor McDavid en route to 30 goals, picks up his 27th of the season from Mattias Ekholm and Evan Bouchard. McDavid knocking down the Ekholm shot from the point, hits his stick, doesn't break his stick. I think that's important. And then he tucks the puck home on the backhander past a sprawled out Cam Talbot. That goal coming at 5:37. 1-0 Oil after one in the second period. Adam Henrique off of his chest, just like everyone thought they would draw it up, and they did. They executed on it. I kid. Henrique's 21st of the year. Give him a handful with the Oilers so far. And Draisaitl will pick it up the assist alongside Connor McDavid. That goal coming at 19:44 of the second. 2-zip Edmonton going into 3. In that third period, the power play converts. Evan Bouchard is 16th of the season. An absolute clapper on the feed from Connor McDavid. Give McDavid 95 assists this year. Draisaitl picking up his 57th assist of the season as the Oilers make it 3-0, 5:05 into the third. You're thinking, hey, things are going pretty good for Stuart Skinner, making some really big saves, because the Kings did press, especially in the third period, where they thought that they could claw their way back into it, even though they were down 3-0. And eventually Arthur Kaliyev gets his 7th of the season from Quinton Byfield. Bang, bang play over was it Glover's shoulder of Stu Skinner. Beats him up high. 3-1 at that point. 13:47 time of the Kaliyev marker. But the Oilers would hold the fort. Skinner making some really nice saves, especially as the Kings poured it on. I think, Jack talking about it on the broadcast when I got back into the studio. He said that the Kings had, 13 consecutive shots. Skinner held the fort. They bend. They don't break outside of the Kaliyev goal. And then Cody Ceci into the empty net from basically 198 feet out. Draisaitl, the helper on Ceci's third. 4-1 Edmonton at that point. 19:19 time of the goal. Give the Oilers the 4-1 victory. Game stats from tonight. Edmonton gets outshot 33-20. Faceoffs 57.4% for LA to Edmonton's 42.6. Power play 1 for 2. PK 2 for 2. Good to see the PK keep the Kings off the board, and the power play does get one on the best penalty kill in the league that LA possesses. Hits 49 Edmonton, 32 LA. Block shots 18 apiece. Giveaways 13 for the Oil, 9 for the Kings. Takeaways 10 for the Oil, 7 for the Kings. Text us 780-218-9999 and via the Nasty Chat. Let's get Zach to come in here. He's by himself back at the Global HQ, back on the city's West End. Zachticum, what'd you think of that game, pal?
I thought it was a good game from both sides. Both hard fought, but the Oilers started a lot sooner physically than the LA Kings, and that's something that the Oilers need to do when they enter games like this. Very important matchup, playoff-style game as we imagined it would be, and it was a very exciting game. Kind of jealous that YouTube Trev got to see this one live. I bet it was fantastic down there at Rogers Place. Absolutely
really
good vibes.
tonight. Yes.
You're down there as
Well
well.
done, Oil Country.
And the team played fantastic. Every player played the role that they had to. Kane went out there, still scoreless, so I think 17 games straight now, a career drought for him, but he played fantastic regardless with the body, and it trickled down the lineup. Once he started with the physical play, it trickled down. McDavid was laying hits, Draisaitl, even Desharnais was getting into it. Everybody was getting a piece of whatever Kings player was out there, and it was great to see for the Oilers to play that physical game. And Stuart Skinner was fantastic in net tonight, and he was one of the main reasons, of course, why the Oilers won tonight, and McDavid getting 3 points, I think, helped too.
Yeah, that usually does. A couple of points, too, for Leon Draisaitl as well. And I think pretty much the entire team wanted a piece of Blake Lizotte after he crashed into Stu Skinner. Skinner, no worse for wear, gets a visit from TD Forrest, head athletic therapist for the Edmonton Oilers, and he finished the game strong. All right, we're going to dip into the inbox really quickly. Kass is just about ready to go. Let's start with Bad Billy. Says, great win, Tommy. Kane set the tone with the big hit on Doughty. It was called a trip. They showed that low angle, the camera angle from inside the boards, and you could see that the first point of contact was the knee. And we kind of looked at it in the press box and we're like, but you see the low angle, and I was like, okay, I get it. So it ends up being a tripping call, but like Bad Billy says, sets the tone physically. And Kane, like Kass was alluding to on the pregame show, looked like a motivated player out there, and it started in that first shift. Bad Billy continues on, says, McDavid popped one shortly after. They came, they dumped and hit and pressured LA and really controlled the game with a full team effort. Skinner held the fort with a very excellent game. McDavid and Kane led the way with some great hits. Could be the best all-around game of the year for the Oil. Awesome. That one from Bad Billy. Randy, I'll get to yours in a bit. Let's go to Wayne now. Says, I like the Oilers game tonight. Physical, bullies, and defensively frustrating. Keep playing man hockey. Oil, nice win from Wayne. And then let's go to this one. Says, TG Dry got an assist on CeCe's goal, so ended with 3 points. All right. Did I miss that? I must have. My bad. I'll double check it just to be sure. And I believe you. And I may have missed it. He did win that face-off. So 3 points for McDavid. Indeed, 3 points for Draisaitl. Again, didn't doubt it, but I just wanted to verify. So those two led the charge. Couple points as well for Evan Bouchard. I'll also read this one from the same texter. No handle from that texter, 403 number. Probably shouldn't be negative in a big win, but it sure would be nice if they could lock it down and get their goalie a shutout once in a while. Well, Stu has 2. Pickard has 1, but I hear you. I know what you mean. All right, 780-218-9999. Text us or via the nasty chat. Let's get Matt Kassian in here. He's ready to go. All right, Kass. That's a big win, bottom line. How they did it, overall, the feeling and sentiment that I'm seeing, whether it's via the nasty chat or the text line, is pretty happy. And then in the building, lots of good vibes. Kass, what are you taking away from that one tonight?
Yeah. Hey, great game. You want to talk about a 60-minute game? Yeah, it was a pretty solid 60-minute game from the Oilers. My favorite thing about tonight was that they played with the appropriate level of nastiness to their game. And we talked about Evander Kane before the game. I thought he had a solid game. And you guys mentioned, and Zachticum, you talked about longest goal drought of his career.
Yeah.
But he played tonight. Tommy, he played tonight.
Yes.
That line was effective.
Noticeable.
That line as a whole, very effective. They had a night. And I loved that they showed that physicality. Again, it's not like they were just running everybody out there, but they were engaged physically. Like, they took the physical game to the Los Angeles Kings. You look at the first period and you look at the amount of pressure Edmonton's forecheck was able to generate, and some of the turnovers they forced, even by Drew Doughty, was fantastic. So I loved their physical game, their level of aggression tonight. I thought that was absolutely fantastic. That was, Tommy, that was my favorite part about the game, aside from the goals and the winning.
Well, that always goes a long way, does it not? Um,
Yeah.
you talk about the physical play. King kind of set the tone there, getting in on Doughty. Did get the tripping call, but he continued on. And I thought too, like him and Perry mixed it up a little bit. The stuff with Lizotte, Cass. How do you think Edmonton managed that?
Yeah. I mean, I thought they played. It was kind of a little bit of a wolf pack mentality with it, right? Where I mean, I don't think they really left anyone hanging by themselves tonight. So, let's give them a thumbs up.
Yeah, absolutely. What about the play by Lizotte? Because I'll tell you what, there were some expletives being thrown around from a couple of the booths behind where we sit, and that is
Yep.
Oilers hockey ops. Dustin Schwartz was not happy with what Lizotte did. What did you make of that play?
Yeah. I mean, if you're LA, you're probably going to look at it and go like, it wasn't that bad. And if you're Edmonton, you're probably going to look at it and go, oh, it's the worst thing ever. This is horrible. If you're the Edmonton Oilers and you don't like it, I understand. And you're probably going to play them in the playoffs. So get up by like 6 goals in a game and stick it to them if it bothers you that much. I mean, it's one of those things where I think, in retrospect, when they go back and they watch it, they're probably not going to be as angry, but yeah. I don't want to say I cursed, but I was kind of like, ugh.
Would you have been sent out on the next shift if that happened when you were playing?
Maybe, but really, like when I watched it, I don't think he was trying to run him.
Like, he didn't do a great job of stopping. And he did not get pushed by CC. There was no push there.
Yeah. I don't know. I probably would have to watch it a couple times again. Tommy, I didn't think it was horrible.
Right.
Like, I'm like, okay, he legitimately could have kind of been trying to stop and not carry himself into him. Yeah. But hey, you want a chance to get a shot at him, and you're going to see him in the playoffs. Just be up 3-0 in the series and up 6 goals in Game 4. Then go nuts.
Touche, Cass. Touche. Tom Gazzola, Matt Kassian with you. The Oilers 4-1 winners over the LA Kings to close out the season series. We're fully anticipating these two teams lock horns in the first round for a third consecutive spring, and that was kind of the consensus. We were talking with all the LA traveling media, and they're like, well, see you guys in a couple of weeks. And I was like, you know what? I like you guys. So looking forward to it very much. They're a great bunch. And we should be in for a very fun spring. Who knows what's going to happen? This Western Conference cast is an absolute gauntlet. But the bottom line tonight, the Oilers get the job done. Is that sending a message to the LA Kings going into the postseason? Or is it just, hey, we won, we'll see you in the playoffs type of thing? Because I don't sense it's sending a message like, hey, we've got your number or anything like that, but I'm just curious what your thought on it is.
It is a little bit of sending a message. I mean, you're sending a message in that, no, we're going to be the higher ranked team. Our view is we're the better team. We're going to want home ice advantage. Like you are sending a message. And I think the way that they played tonight, again, I think that sends a message. Like with the little bit of nastiness to their game, a little bit more of that playoff style, a little bit of the, hey, you could do the 1-2-2 all you want. Yeah, sometimes we're going to have to chip the puck in, but guess what? We're just going to stay on it. And then we're going to make your life a nightmare in your own zone defending and make you spend all kinds of time. Like, yeah, we're going to chip it by you. Then we're going to forecheck the crap out of you, and we're going to hit you. We're going to take the puck back, and then we're going to hold on to it and force you to defend in zone for consecutive shifts and for long periods of time. I thought they were sending a message, Tommy, in that, listen, you can try to defend us all you want. We're just going to stick with it and grind you down. Like, you're going to try to slow us down in the neutral zone. We're going to grind you down with our forecheck. And again, that's why I just love that part of the game. And I love their aggression on the forecheck. Wasn't always running guys over, but they just were always in and always disrupting. And they made it difficult at times for LA to cleanly transition out of their zone. And LA's bread and butter is, hey, we're going to force you to dump it so we can get possession and we can transition back against you. Or you try to force something through the neutral zone. And Edmonton was like, all right, you're going to do that. We're going to grind you down by just hounding the puck and by being aggressive on the forecheck. So I do think, Tommy, I think they sent a message in what they or how they played.
Nope, my bad there. That's my microphone. I apologize for that. 780-218-9999. And the Oilers, it was very noticeable, the physical play from an Edmonton standpoint. So effective as well, like Kass reiterated there. Let's get to some text, Kass. If you want to fire one our way, you have a question for Kass, just send it 780-218-9999 or via nasty chat. Are you yelling people in the nasty chat? Just
Not yet.
checking.
I yelled on my way in. I probably should. I can do it right now. Let's see. What are people saying?
You and Joelle always yelling at people in the nasty
She
chat.
copies me.
Okay. I believe it. I believe it.
No, well, she might, but.
All right. So this one from Shaggy in St. Albert says, good playoff type win. Showed up at beginning of game, took early lead, did disappear a little at beginning of second. We're playing good defensive hockey most of the game. Kings scored the goal. Oilers wilted a little bit after that. Most complete game in a while. Now, are they going to soundly defeat the Ducks on Saturday, or are they going to be complacent after this complete win? Shaggy in St. Albert with that text. With the early lead, we're kind of, that's everybody's understanding of that. Disappearing Kass, like Shaggy in St. Albert says, at the beginning of the second. What did you think? I said bend, not break.
Yeah.
I thought the Oilers had an okay second period. I figured they anticipated LA to push. I thought it was in the third where LA really started to throw everything they could at Edmonton, and Edmonton was solid, but that's where it felt to me like maybe they kind of wilted somewhat, like Shaggy said.
Yeah, LA's a good team that's been playing well. So they're gonna push, and it is the bend not break. And Tommy, there are ebbs and flows to almost every single game, especially playing against good teams, where it's like, yeah, they're gonna push. They could get a couple opportunities. Now, the opportunities they got, I thought it was Edmonton not doing a great job on zone exits, like turning the puck over a little bit on zone exits, which created a few issues. But it was a bend and not break, exactly like you said, and that is just fine. You're gonna have those shifts and those moments. That's going to happen in a hockey game. That's normal. I thought Edmonton, they then turned it up in the second period, and then they just dominated. Like it was ultimately a dominant second period by Edmonton. And yes, LA pushed in the third, but Edmonton was in the driver's seat, and they didn't. I know LA gets the goal, but Edmonton didn't really give up too much. I don't feel like aside from the goal, they were in pretty good shape. So yeah, I mean. It was bend not break. I don't. Edmonton was okay. They were good. They played it. They were very good.
Like Shaggy alluded to, in terms of how complete of a game from an Edmonton standpoint, where would you stack it up?
I mean, it's pretty close to complete, wasn't it? Like it's not 100%, but no game is 100%.
Pretty damn good.
Pretty good. They didn't have long, even if you say, okay, start of the second LA push, like they didn't have any long multiple shift, where it was like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shifts in a row where they were struggling and in trouble. So how complete a game was it? I mean,
I thought they were good in the neutral zone too, Kass. Quick ups.
No, they didn't turn a lot of pucks over.
Yeah.
I thought they didn't force stuff in the neutral zone. And that's always the temptation against LA, right? In that 1-2-2 is to start trying to really force stuff in the neutral zone. And that's where people get into trouble. So yeah, very complete, not perfectly complete, but very complete. It was a very complete game.
I'm going to read this one from Jeff, and then I'm going to throw in something that our good friend Joaquin Gage pointed out a couple of times tonight in our group text chat. Jeff says, that's more like it. Best overall game and defensively structured game since the streak, in my opinion. The offense will always be there, but tonight they played defensively smart and with a sense of maturity. The defensively smart, I thought Bouchard did a good job playing defensively smart, like Jeff is saying. I liked Kulak. I like CC. I want to see Vinny Desharnais have success, and I know it's been a bit tough, and his finger/hand is still banged up. There was one read, Kass, where it ended up being a 2-on-1. Kulak played it well, and Skinner made the save. But Gager, I'll read what Gager said. Sorry, Gager, if you're in there, but nothing bad. It's just Kulak didn't leave his feet on the 2-on-1, took away the pass. Perfect 2-on-1, says Gager. Vinny needs to have a seat. Only good chances the Kings get are when Vinny makes a bad play. Where are you at with that?
Yeah. I agree with the leaving the feet. Like, you don't, again, I think the only time that you need to leave your feet typically is a defenseman in a 2-on-1 sometimes. If you can time a slide right, it can be effective. Aside from that, I don't think you have to. And I think you see that in the Kulak play. Vinny, not great again today. Now, struggling with the finger, but I thought, wasn't a horrible game, but wasn't a great game. A couple turnovers, a couple mistakes. Does he need to have a seat? I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but it wasn't his best tonight.
I don't agree with it either. And I'm not taking anything away from Stetcher. I'm going to explain my thought on this. Kass, they've done all of this work, put in all this time to build him up, right? He just hit his 100th NHL game. A few weeks ago, he was getting heaps of praise, gets in that fight, busts up his finger, and then comes back and has had some struggles. And I know last year in the postseason, he had his struggle. He knows. He's worked on things. But I think that there's a little bit of a method to the madness where you get a guy, a young, less experienced guy, you build him up, you give him this experience because you believe in him. He's obviously helped the PK. And then you don't just bring in a Troy Stetcher, and no disrespect to Troy Stetcher, and say, sorry, Vinny, you're out after all this good work you've done, because you want to breathe confidence into these guys, Kass, from my understanding. And that's why he gets the start over a Troy Stetcher, 3 times out of 4. If I'm off my rocker, by all means, go ahead. That's my understanding of this situation.
Yeah, you don't, Vinny Desharnais has been solid for most of the season.
Good body of work.
Good body of work, really good year. He's grown a lot this year, played very well this year. So you're not just going to abandon him after 1 or 2 bad games. At the same time, you're still trying to make sure you're having your icing your best lineup, and Stetcher's been fine when he's been in there too. And again, and we've talked about the reason for bringing Stetcher in primarily. Well, what if Vinny Desharnais struggles when the speed ramps up in the playoffs? I mean, that's why he's here. And so you're not, to me, rushing to get Desharnais out of the lineup. And I don't think even with some of the mistakes today, it wasn't like they were exposure due to speed and pace of play mistakes. They were mental mistakes.
One bad read, like Gager alluded to there. Maybe a couple other little things.
Right. Maybe a couple other little things. So I'm not running to get him out of the lineup. And I know there's some people that maybe don't agree, Joaquin Gage in particular.
Dustin Nielsen
also, but we know they're idiots. So
yeah, that's simple. Yeah. Desharnais, if you're wondering, donuts straight across the board, and then time on ice 17:39. So no shots, no hits. Even, no points, 17:39 time on ice. All right, 780-218-9999. And nasty chat as well. JCD says, I don't pay attention to the nasty chat. I do. I try. I really genuinely do. I feel like the nasty chat is like this fantastic self-contained ecosystem that I like to look and then try to pluck something out of there from time to time. Text line's been humming really nicely tonight after the Oilers 4-1 victory over the LA Kings. We got a first-time texter here. It's Matt. Says, I love this playoff atmosphere game. Always great to give it to the Kings. Glad to see a full 60-minute effort. Matt, welcome to the chaos, my friend. Appreciate that very, very much. Mike in Thunder Bay, staying up late. Thank you, Mike. Says, what a great way to start off my long weekend. What's not to love? Skinner locking it down tighter than Springfield Elementary when Superintendent Chalmers is coming to visit. Henrique being in the right spot. His best game as an Oiler and keeps getting better. McDavid only 2 points away from another Art Ross. 5 assists away from history. Massive win. Oilers looking playoff ready from puck drop. Love beating the Kings. Stu Skinner, Mike in Thunder Bay brings up, Kass, is the confidence growing in this guy from more than just us that see him every day? And are people starting to believe that he can be a guy that takes them far?
I hope so. I hope people believe that. I've had the confidence in him for a while. Now everyone in the nasty chat, pretty much everybody in the nasty chat. I know you, Mike Smith, in the nasty chat. You haven't said anything about him today, but you wanted to trade him like every night for the past year and a half. It feels like. That's a little bit of an exaggeration, or a very large exaggeration.
I've seen you guys go back and forth.
There's lots of people that wanted him gone and wanted to trade and wanted to upgrade the goalie. But listen, he's been solid. He has been solid. Was there a period of time he struggled during the year? Yes. Has he given me any reason to doubt that he can be steady and stable and solid in the playoffs? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So another really good body of work. Too bad he doesn't get the shutout. Bad turnover.
Yeah.
And then a quick breakdown after that. So unfortunate he doesn't get the shutout. I was really hoping that he would, but just another solid game pitched by him. So yeah, I mean, I have full confidence. Full confidence.
Good signs, good indicators. And again, this is a guy in year number 2 full-time in the National Hockey League. And at 25 years of age, he's accomplished, he's put together a pretty nice resume for sure. And he's going to look to continue to build it. He's a guy that's got the right attitude too, easygoing, and this willingness to adapt, learn, embrace where he messed up and try to fix those things. Like, he doesn't shy away from his mistakes. The right attitude. So we'll see how he can continue to grow, but a lot of good indicators. I want to get to this one from the Nasty Chat, Cass. And you and I hit on this briefly, and I kind of blurted out. I said, I like that line. Andrew says, I like the line of 91, 71, 90. Felt even McLeod got a bit physical with them. To me, 91 and 90, Cass, if they find a little bit of rhythm, if I suggested that they might give Ryan McLeod a little bit of confidence to do whatever he needs to do out there, would that be adequate?
Yeah, that would be adequate. We talked about that before the game, how playing with those two guys, especially when they're playing with an edge, he's not the most physical player. And we talked about, again, I don't like using the word soft, but he's not a player that regularly is around the net and starting scrums and cross-checking. Like, that's not his game. But the other two guys, that is their game. And I think they pull that out of them. I think they draw that out of Ryan McLeod. And I think, we talked about that line and the potential for them being a game breaker really in the playoffs, and especially over a long playoff series. And I think that holds true if they can play like they did tonight. I mean, it was a good example. Tonight was a good example of that. So yeah, I mean, if it pulls a little bit more of that edge, even if it's just a tiny little bit out of McLeod, I think he's better off for it.
There was a moment tonight, Cass, where Rashog is like, look, I think McLeod's going to get involved. And I looked at him, I'm like, are you joking right now? And he threw a hit. Like 2 seconds later, I was like, oh, okay, I guess. Good for him. And it's nice to see him mix it up a little bit. He's a tall kid, not thick. But if I had Corey Perry on one wing and Evander Kane, who was engaged, like we talked about earlier, I'm probably feeling like, hey, I'm going to go muck it up. And I know those two guys they're going to have my back if I do something that stirs it up a little bit. So I like that line tonight. I think that there's something there, Cass. You and I kind of agree on that. And let's see where it goes until it gets thrown into the blender. Whenever that happens, maybe by Saturday.
Absolutely. No, I absolutely agree.
All right. This text from Calgary, Glenn says, evening, boys. Fantastic full 60-minute game by the Oilers side. They dictated the pace of play, imposed their will on their opponent, the type of game they need to play throughout the playoffs. Our boy Barron says, some talk Hyman did not play last 5 minutes. Any idea why? Cass, anything there? I didn't catch that.
No, I didn't catch it either.
I'd have to look at the stat or the shift chart. I don't have it in front of me, although I could pull it up. Maybe he's nicked. I don't know, but maybe they wanted to roll the other. Let me look it up. I'm getting the shift chart here. Time on ice, Edmonton. But I didn't see anything, but it's not hard to miss little things. Let's see, Cass. His last shift was with 4 minutes left to play. He got on at 15:06.
Yeah.
Got off at 15:56. I don't know. Did they go with more defensive, like lines 3 and 4?
They may have. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see anything happen to him. I guess we'll have to see post game if someone brings that up, because I didn't notice him go off, so hard to say.
Hyman tonight, he ends up with a +1, 2 penalty minutes, 5 shots, 3 hits, 18:03 time on ice. Kind of normal, I would say. I don't think anything out of the ordinary. So we'll see if anything pops up, but I didn't catch anything. If anybody did, text us 780-218-9999 or nasty chat. Gazzola, Kassian, and Zachticum with you. The Oilers 4-1 winners over the LA Kings. They take the season series 3-1. Kassian, go for it.
Andrew E. in the nasty chat, actually with a good point, which is true, is that the goalie was pulled very early, and he usually is not out in 6-on-5 situations.
Okay, there you go.
And probably, you're going with 2 centers or 3 centers in that instance. In case you ice the puck, something happens, and you need centers that take draws on both sides of the ice. So actually, it's very possible. So
good
just wanted to say,
Andrew.
I think that's a good catch by Andrew.
See, we knew they'd have our back, just like the Oilers had each other's backs tonight in a feisty win over the LA Kings. Fergie's prostate. Good evening, Fergie says, Tommy, could you please give one of your old ties to Stoff? I could, whether or not he'd wear it. Happy birthday to Stoff, by the way. Had a chance to quickly say hi to him. He was in a very good mood today, as he should be. And the team that he works for gets the win. Northside Sandwich says, hey, Tommy, huge fan of this game tonight. Nice to see the Oilers win in a rough and tumble game. That is nice. Cass, how much should we read into that, or can we read into that they actually kind of dictated physical play as opposed to kind of had to react to physical play?
I think, reading into it, Tom, is they have the capacity to do it. And I don't think it's reading into it to say, yeah, we see they can do it. And it's a good thing they can do it. And they need to do it, especially against LA, especially in the playoffs, because you're going to see a little bit more of that style. And when you're playing a team up to 7 times trying to win a series, those games like that add up. Yep. The physical play on Doughty and the frustration by being like not having any time and space. Every time you go back to get a puck, you're not necessarily hearing footsteps and that you're going to get run through the wall, but someone's going to be right on you and you're not going to have any time. You're not going to have the ability to make a clean play or an easy play. You can't just catch it and wheel. You can't catch it and turn your toes up ice because there's someone like just all over you all the time. I mean, it adds up and it's important. And again, it's not reading into it to say we saw them do it today, they can do it again.
Number 36 says, TG and the crew makes our way back to Fort Sask tomorrow. Oilers look good tonight. Keep digging on Dewey. That's from Justin. Chris says, tonight showed that the Oilers are a different level than the Kings. Ideal first-round matchup. And then Mark says, guys, is there a more inauthentic point total than Evan Bouchard? He plays primarily with the best player in the game, gets points regularly. He is not elite. That's from Mark Cass. I'll let you handle that one.
Say that again. Who we're talking about? I was texting back in the nasty chat.
Oh, Evan Bouchard.
Oh, is he not elite? He's elite offensively.
Yeah,
you can't argue that. I don't think you can argue that. The points he puts up now. Play with McDavid lots. Yep. Does that help? Draisaitl lots. Yep. Unbelievable power play. Does that help? Yep. But you still have to be able to do it. Like you still have to be able to execute, and he makes the power play better. And we've seen him time and time again in the offensive zone with that patience and poise with the puck, just create a lot of offense. It has a great shot. He is an elite offensive player. Is he an elite defensive player? No.
I'll just say no.
No. Does Matthias Ekholm bring out the best in him that way? Yes.
Yeah.
So
I understand where Mark's coming from, and we went into the nuance of it, as we should. Bouchard 74 points on the year, Cass, after tonight. Not bad. Not bad at all. All right. I'll do this, Cass, because we have a bunch of audio and video to get to from Edmonton's 4-1 victory. It is Easter long weekend. We're back on Saturday. Cass, you are away until next week. So let's get your thoughts going into this Anaheim game on Saturday, where the Oilers will look to make it 3 wins in a row against an opponent that is nowhere near the caliber of the LA Kings.
Yep. Well, the thing that they're going to have to fight against, and the tendency that there's going to be, is you just had a big, emotional, great win against the LA Kings. And it's going to be to take that deep breath and be like, we just beat the Kings. We're good. And then you head into an opponent that you should destroy, and you just don't have the juice. So that's going to be what they're going to have to be mindful of. Because really, and you mentioned it, Tommy, they should stomp all over them. Like if they play anywhere close to how they played tonight, they will stomp all over the Anaheim Ducks. So yeah, I mean, from a focus standpoint, from a mentality standpoint, you can't be looking past the game. As cliche as that sounds, you got to take this one game at a time down the stretch, and Anaheim's a game, and you want to get those 2 points. Big step today to solidify that home ice advantage and that second spot in the division. But it's not over yet.
Yeah.
It's not over yet. And these are 2 points that you can have. So yeah, focus up, play them like you played LA. Don't be complacent.
12:30, we're on the air Saturday afternoon, just a half hour after the conclusion of Hello Hockey, which will be live on location at local public eatery, Jasper Avenue. Come on down, say hi. Good crew down there. Kass, happy Easter to you and the fam, my friend. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, buddy. It sounds good.
That is our game analyst, Matt Kassian, helping us break down Edmonton's 4-1 victory over the LA Kings. Lots of texts to get to. Keep those coming in. 780-218-9999. And the nasty chat doing its thing as usual. M. Terry says we have playoff toughness on reserve. Where else? Where is it? Some stranger says Kane is in playoff form. I really liked Kane's game today, and that's good to see. Maybe a sign that he's getting healthier. I was told and reiterated today that he is indeed a bit nicked up still. That's why he missed the game on Sunday. All right, we can go inside the locker room, but before we do that, I do need to point out that portions of this hour brought to you by 100.3 The Bear, Edmonton's best rock. Catch Dusty Nielsen with Yukon Jack and Scott McCord weekday mornings, and then check out Jess Jackson on your way home from work every afternoon. Zachticum, where are we going next, pal?
Well, I think we got to hear from the guy who played fantastic in goal. Here is the mustached Stuart Skinner.
High degree difficulty saves. Did you feel like you were right in that one?
That I was, sorry, what?
That you were right in that one? You were feeling it pretty good tonight?
Yeah, definitely. Felt good. Obviously getting, I think it was 8 shots pretty quickly. It's nice to obviously feel the puck and get into the rhythm of things. It's in those types of games, there's always kind of those peaks and valleys. I think there's a moment in the second period where I didn't get many shots at all, and then obviously we got hemmed in, they get hemmed in. It's kind of how the game works sometimes. So, but yeah, I felt good overall.
Bit of an awkward fall there in the first period. Just take us through what you were feeling, how the play went down.
Like when I got...
Yeah, in the first period.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Just kind of he came in pretty hard. I'm not too sure what happened on his end, but just kind of ran into me and a little bit of an awkward fall. But yeah, you just kind of make sure that the adrenaline's not too high where you're not really feeling any pain. So I kind of just took a couple deep breaths and make sure that the body's all good. And when I knew that I was okay to keep playing, it's right back at it.
All the skaters have to play a little bit of a different game in LA. Like the strategy's different, the way they play. What about for you? Is it any different at all?
Yeah, I mean, I think every team that you play offensively brings different aspects. I mean, a lot of the league is similar in skill level and just how great shooters are. But teams do have a little bit of different strategies coming in the offensive zone. So that's something that we definitely look at and make sure that I'm ready for whatever's coming.
If this is a preview of round one, how do you feel?
I would love to say that it is, but I think it's obviously a great start for us. It's nice to obviously get this win and kind of make a little bit more leadway in the home advantage. But at the same time, these guys come every single night and they know what they have to do against us as well, and us versus them. So it's always a great battle playing against these guys. So if we face them, it'll be very exciting.
All right, there's Stuart Skinner picking up his 33rd victory of the season, playing his 53rd game of the season, and that takes us into our next segment. That is the big save of the game, presented by Chris Boyle, business owner, tax saver. Chris Boyle strategically works with both businesses and families with strategic planning and risk management, like a goalie, Stu Skinner, protecting the net, shielding your paycheck from an unforeseen event like illness or hospitalization, and ensuring your family's financial stability in the face of unexpected circumstances. If you're watching for a chance to win playoff tickets, scan the QR code in the corner of your screen, or if you're listening, visit ChristopherBoyle.net/postgame show, ChristopherBoyle.net/postgame show for your chance to win tickets to a playoff game, perhaps against those very same LA Kings we saw lose to the Oilers 4-1 tonight. All right, there he is, Zachticum. It is the Christopher Boyle big save of the game. What do you got for us, pal?
Man, I mean, there's a lot to choose from on the Oil side. Stuart Skinner played fantastic, of course. Former Oilers goaltender Cam Talbot also played amazing. I got to say he made some high-danger chance saves, but it's got to go to Stuart Skinner for the save in the night where it was dumped into the Oilers' end, and Stuart Skinner went to go play it. It was thrown over to CC, but Byfield sticked it away over to Kempe, who released a one-timer, and then it popped out to Kopitar as well, and he got a couple chances. So it's a series of saves for the save of the game tonight. He had to stay on his toes, stay in position, and he did so. He cracked down, and sucks to see he couldn't get the shutout for tonight, but hey, he had the effort there, and that's all that matters. He came out with the win, and he played fantastic. So that save, that series of saves, is the save of the game tonight for Christopher Boyle. Fantastic.
32 saves for Stu Skinner. That is the big save of the game, like Zachticum mentioned, presented by Christopher Boyle. Again, do not take that QR code off of there just yet, Zachticum. Scan the QR code for a chance to win playoff tickets right down there. Where am I? Right down there. And then visit ChristopherBoyle.net/postgame if you're listening to the show, and you can enter to win tickets to an Oilers playoff game. All right, Zachticum, good stuff on the big saves of the game, sequence, series, whatever you want to describe it as. Where are we off to next inside the Oilers locker room?
We can head over to a man who got a goal, not so clean, but they don't ask you how, they ask you how many, whatever that cliche is. Of course, you're going to hear it a million times, but he got the goal, it counted, and that's all that matters. Here's Adam Henrique.
On purpose banking it in off you there, or I feel like maybe it was probably. Those guys are so skilled. Just again, just try to establish that net front presence and got a fortunate bounce on that one.
It's been a few games where you've been, on that line playing with them and such. What do you think about it? How does it feel?
Yeah, it's I've been building that chemistry. I think the finer details of how these guys play, and especially those two, play with high tempo and high skill, and just try to find those open areas. And I don't change too much in my game, trying to support them all over the ice and get to those areas.
Adam, are you not taking any credit for that goal or what?
It's a pretty good chest bump.
Yeah.
These two teams have a lot of bad blood between each other. How was it to get a taste of that?
It's good. A lot of these games, I guess for me personally, you feel that kind of excitement behind them. And it's been a while to really feel that in these meaningful games down the stretch. So, that's what we're here for and to be a part of, and it's exciting. It's exciting hockey, and this is what we play for this time of year. So we got to keep that going right to the end.
Were you surprised to get that shift with the two of them at that time too? You haven't played with the two of them before.
No, not the two of them, but I mean, it's just there was 30 seconds left, and so those guys are good on draws all night and running plays there. So you just try to get to the front of the net there and create some havoc and take the fortunate bounce.
Sometimes after a trade, it can take a little bit of time. Can you just tell us where you think your game is at and how you think it's going for you?
Yeah, trying to continue to build with these guys. It's a lot of the finer details of the game, I guess, the difference from, coming from Anaheim to here and how these guys want to play, I guess, is the biggest difference sometimes. They like to, wind it up and use their speed and skill to attack. And so just trying to find your way within that. And then with the lines, too, it's, depending on game to game, things are moving around a little bit, but trying to build just consistency in my own game and that starts with my feet and then kind of goes from there. So I feel like I've been building and just need to continue to do that.
Is comfort level setting in? Is that?
Yeah, comfort level is definitely a lot higher than when we first got here, and just kind of settle in, and just go out and play hockey. That's kind of the goal, and the guys have done a great job of helping us do that too.
Adam, you know the Kings pretty well, play them a lot. Is this tonight, you think, kind of the perfect blueprint to beat them?
Yeah, I thought we played, a great game, pretty much start to finish. I thought we played with tempo and pace and get on the body, and a lot of opportunities created off of that. So, those are just things that we talked about in our own game that we wanted to implement, and I thought we did a good job of that.
All right, there's Adam Henrique scoring his third goal as an Oiler. 3 goals, 1 assist in his last 8 games. So you talked about the confidence and building some momentum and rhythm and getting to know his new teammates and line mates. So we're seeing that certainly. And then that gives him 4 points in 11 games since coming over from the Ducks. Adam Henrique there picking up the goal, bumped it in off his chest. Leon Draisaitl puts it through to the middle. They all count. And Henrique tonight with that goal, +1, 2 shots, 6 hits, 12:59 time on ice. Read a couple of texts and we'll go back to the Oilers locker room. This one from Coach Mike says, great win by the Oil. Love the physicality. Also, should you guys do a wellness check on Huss? Coach Mike, I like that. Yes, the Winnipeg Jets 4-1 losers to the Vegas Golden Knights. And that's 5 in a row for Winnipeg. Tough go for the Jets. Not at the right time either. This is not a good time to go on a losing streak, but they do have some time to bounce back. No bueno tonight. Vegas waking up, handing it to the Jets 4-1. And I'm sure Dusty called in a wellness check for our dear friend Andrew Hustler Patterson. This text says, Bouchard is like Adam Fox, kind of. Elite offensive player, not a guy you build a franchise around like a Makar, Yossi, or Hedman. Fat Dan texting in says, McDavid second among Oil forwards and hits this season by a lot. Interesting. What a game. Fat Dan. McDavid with a bunch of hits today. This one from Displaced Yukoner says, I would love to know what Doughty said to Skinner during the timeout. Also, is there a player with more swagger in the league than Leon? Good swagger, not arrogant. There's a few guys around there. Dirty Curdy with this one says, massive 4-point win, patient, solid D structure. Skinner, while deserving a shutout, excellent. Hopefully a preview of what's to come. Connor will have the Art Ross. Book it. Also, kudos to Henrique on his goal inside Hyman's office. All right, Zachticum, one more interview to get to. Who is it?
Well, last but certainly not least, Captain Connor McDavid.
Guys, just take us through how you felt about the team play.
Always is. Always is. It's always hard against these guys. They're as solid as they come. They're structured and responsible, and they're good. It's always difficult.
There's some strategy at play when you play this team. How do you think your group sort of handled that patience level?
Well, like you said it. You said it. It requires a patient game, a mature game, and I thought we showed that on all levels.
Connor, I asked because you haven't played with Henrique at all. Were you surprised to see him come over the boards there with you and Leon with 30 seconds or so left in the second at offensive zone baseline?
Was I surprised?
Yeah.
No, I think we're all comfortable playing with each other. Like you said, I haven't played with him much, but he's adjusted really well, and that was a really timely goal. He's done a great job of being at the net for that line, and was at the net again and got rewarded.
Who gets more credit, him or Leon, for that one?
Well, I mean, Leo makes a great play as per usual, and he does a great job of just being there, being inside his check, and if he's not there, it doesn't go in. If Leo doesn't make the play, it also doesn't go in. So equally deserving.
You guys have beaten LA now, I think 6 of the last 7 games. They're all close games and hard fought and all that, but you delivered maybe a message even in this room that style isn't something you have any trouble with anymore, that you guys can play it and beat it more often than not.
we're a confident group. We believe in ourselves. We've played these guys lots of times, as you said, and we've played in these games. They're tight checking, and we're comfortable in that. Playing a defensive game and a patient game, a mature game, and it requires everybody and it requires all your details, and we're comfortable doing that, and we've showed that.
There's maybe ramping up the game in some ways as you head to the playoffs. When Kane throws the hit early on in the game, you guys had some good physicality last game. Like, you kind of feel that part of your guys' game coming into form?
Yeah, I thought Kaner played really, really well. I thought he skated well. He was physical. He was really engaged and really gave our team lots of life there in the first period and in the second period. And throughout the game, he was solid and skating well and being that hard guy to play against.
You're approaching 100 assists. Is that something you think about?
No, we're trying to build something here in this room. Just trying to be a part of wins, and that's what we're focused on coming down the stretch.
Connor, this time of the year, sometimes you get games like tonight, and then you get games where you've got teams that are really out of the playoffs, and that's kind of the case Saturday. Is there much of a change in prep, the mindset, or anything when you go against teams that are kind of opposite ends of it?
No, I mean, we got to worry about ourselves. That's what it comes down to. You got to play your game, your style of game that's going to work. Come playoff time, and obviously Anaheim is, as you said, a team that is not in the playoff picture, but those guys are playing for jobs. They're professionals. They play hard. They played us hard last time in their building, and I would expect the same thing on Saturday.
There's Connor McDavid, a goal, 2 assists on the night, and that brings him up to 122 points, as a lot of our viewers and listeners have pointed out in the nasty chat and the text line. McDavid sitting third in the NHL scoring race, 1 point back of Nathan MacKinnon, 2 points back of Nikita Kucherov. He's played a couple less games. He was banged up earlier in the season. Remember, he's dealing with that oblique issue, and McKinnon's up to 73 games played. Kucherov's up to 71 games played. I like his chances for taking home another Art Ross trophy, and just 5 assists away from 100 in a season, which is amazing. Only 3 other players have done it: Lemieux, Gretzky, or will it be McDavid? Yes. How soon? By next week. I know I'm not going on a limb there, but it's going to happen. And we'll see who he gets it against. And it's certainly an incredible accomplishment for Connor McDavid when he hits that 100 assist mark. And then the point total, Art Ross race, not even surprised he's clawed his way back into it the way he has, and soon, maybe likely, taken over. All right, we're going to go around the National Hockey League really quickly. 14 games on the schedule. Tomorrow, just 1 game. It is Easter long weekend, so let's get you up to speed. Then we're going to go to the player of the game and read some texts as well. Get those in, 780-218-9999, and Nasty Chat, do your thing. New York Islanders defeat the Florida Panthers 3-2. That's a big win for the Islanders in Florida. The Habs 4-1 winners over Philadelphia at Bell Center. Forget Toronto for now. Well, let's go to Toronto. 5-1, they win it over Washington, wearing those silly Justin Bieber jerseys, in my opinion. Also, really want to point this out, too. That was the last time tonight when we saw them wear the Navy jerseys, the Oilers. That's the last time Edmonton will wear those jerseys.
The last time?
That was it.
Oh, that's so sad. Sorry, I had to say that. I love those jerseys.
I hate them.
Well, agree to disagree.
That's okay, because some people love them. I dislike them. I think they're too simple, but you know what? It's all good. Agree to disagree. That was the last time the Oilers will wear those Navy alternates. And talking to some people from the Oilers, they're like, good riddance. Anyway, it's subjective. Style changes. It's all good. Zachticum, it's all good. Ottawa 2-0 winners over Chicago. Pittsburgh 3-2 over Columbus. Carolina 4-0 over Detroit. Minnesota 3-1 winners over San Jose. St. Louis 5, Calgary 3 in St. Louis. Like we said earlier, Vegas 4-1 winners in Winnipeg tonight. The Rangers pull out the win over the Avs in a shootout 3-2. Dallas 3-1 winners over the Canucks. And then Arizona pumping Nashville. What the heck is going on here? 8-4. 30 seconds left in the third. And then 4-2. Seattle leads Anaheim. That game is just about to end. So there you go. The Oilers winning tonight by a score of 4-1, wearing those alternate jerseys for the last time ever. And at the end of the day, a win's a win. Doesn't matter what you're wearing as long as you get the 2 points, pulling up 5 points ahead of the LA Kings. All right, Zachticum, you ready to do player of the game?
100%, man.
All right, let's do it. Damon Bunting, Remax Elite Player of the Game, brought to you by our good friend Damon Bunting, consistent top-producing realtor in Greater Edmonton and among Western Canadian Remax realtors. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. So if you're looking to buy a home, maybe sell your place, downsize, change it up, move to a different part of the city, whatever you need, check out DamonBunting.com or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. Zachticum, who is the player of the game?
Well, a player that I actually have the jersey of with that navy blue, and I think it looks fantastic. Probably a little bit weird on ice. It wasn't an easy one tonight, but I think it went to this man because he just seemed like he was in his element. A couple plays he might have made. He got the penalty early on. Not Evander Kane, but Leon Draisaitl is who I'm talking about. He always likes taking those fun penalties, let's say. He's got quite a few penalty minutes, but tonight I think he drove the play. 3 assists on the night. Basically, literally just created the Henrique goal. Henrique was there. Credit to him, but he created that goal, and he was very strong on the puck, and I love the way he played tonight. He's always just driving into the zone. Shadows of Yager, some people might say, and I think he is definitely good on his own. He can drive a line on his own. I remember the times when people were saying that he needed McDavid to thrive. Long gone are those days, and I know I'm digging up a bunch of skeletons, I guess, from the closet, bringing that one up, but it just had to be said. I love the way Draisaitl played tonight, and I'll give him the Damon Bunting Player of the Game for that reason.
Beautiful. Damon Bunting, check him out. If you're looking to get into the market or sell your home, DamonBunting.com or Damon Bunting Real Estate on Instagram. I saw VR Montenegro with a good line. It's okay, Tommy. I heard the Navy jerseys were talking smack about you anyway. Love it. Yes, I love it. Thank you, Mike. What else do we have here? They were awesome jerseys, says Mike Smith. Glad I got my McDavid one. And what else? Mike Smith adds, yay, Zachticum, a vote for the Dark Navies. JCD780 says, I want them to make a jersey with the old copper and blue hard hat guy as the main logo. If you didn't catch it, there's a limited run JCD780 by Ice District Authentics of a Georges Laraque Navy copper and blue jersey and the 96-97 copper and blue oil worker jersey with the blue yoke on the shoulder that they only wore for 1 year. Ice District Authentics is doing a limited run. They're $300 each, good quality, tackle twill, sewn on, stitched on numbers and letters. And they have a bunch of other stuff in store. So if you do love those jerseys, the regular logo, I don't think there's going to be a oil worker logo as the main one done on a jersey. But if you love those, you can get them. And that's kind of a neat thing that they're doing with their old uniforms. And then if you're asking about the old copper and blue jerseys, if they're going to bring them back and wear them, the answer is no. I've been told no many times. So just put that to rest immediately. Let's go to the text line to wrap things up. This one for Brandon out of Windsor says, huge statement win. First full 60 they played in a while. LFG, happy Easter boys. Hashtag mix in a water. Nicely done. Hontorio Mom says, Kings are the most satisfying wins of the year. They are smug, ugly, and play boring hockey. Fish Tank says, my God, you're greasy. Babbage Stash, hello, Babbage Stash, says, the Kings need the lead with the way they play. The Oil jumped on them, and they were on their heels chasing a bit. Great start. Allowed the boys to take it to them. What a way to start the long weekend. Goyle! Donnie M says, even Nugent had a great pre-playoff game. Five rubs and 1 shot. All right, Donnie M. Peter in Saskatoon says, I hear... Oh, boy. I'm not going to read that one. The Loser says, Tommy, any news on upcoming Oilers jerseys design? Outside of what I just said, The Loser, next year, as far as I know, it's just the regular home and away in the new Fanatics cut. I don't know if they're introducing like a different like cut to the uniform. What I have been told about next year's uniforms is that it's made with the same materials and from the same factory as the current on-ice jerseys. So the quality should be there. These Adidas ones are pretty nice. They breathe well, nice design, all that stuff. So apparently the same material will be used on these new Fanatics ones. Now, as for what is available to buy, if you don't want to shell out $300 for a game jersey that they basically sell you now, I don't know what the quality will be like with the replicas. That is TBD. I know that the Fanatics jerseys right now on the replica side have a weird logo. It's just like it's flimsy, kind of bends and stuff. It's not the thick, nice crusted one. So that's all I've been told. So on the ice, quality is the same because it's come from the same factory using the same material. Whether or not they change like the cut of the uniform, we shall see. When Reebok did it, they had the edge jerseys, different breathing air, like the underarms and stuff. Adidas changed it up a little bit too. We'll see if Fanatics tries to change the cut, but the actual design of the Oilers jerseys not changing. Typical royal blue and white and orange, and just with Fanatics on it. So that's what I know. And then no third jerseys next year. They do that whenever they bring in a new company to do the uniforms. That's what I've been told. Now, I have also been told that they are working on a third jersey for a couple years down the road. They've been cooking something up for a little while already. There in the accountant gets the last word. Says, terrible take, Zach. Those jerseys are awful. Zach, it's all good, buddy.
Yeah,
good
let's agree to disagree. Yeah, great job for you as well.
Totally subjective. There he is. All right, the Oilers win it 4-1 over the LA Kings. Plenty of fun was had on this post-game show. Big thank you to everybody who tuned in, texted in. You know we love you and appreciate you. Hit the thumbs up on your way out if you're watching on our EST YouTube channel. Have yourselves a lovely Easter Friday, a great long weekend. We're back with the pregame show, 12:30 p.m. on Saturday. Oilers taking on the Ducks, 2 o'clock face-off. Hello Hockey goes at 10 a.m. live on location at local public eatery Jasper Ave. Come down, say hi to me and Belzy and David Pagnotta from the fourth period. It should be tons of fun. For Zachticum, Matt Kassian, I'm Tom Gazzola saying good night, everyone. Thanks, as always.